ADEC's Smart Start program offers first-time practice owners their deepest discounts on equipment and furniture for 2 years, plus other savings and complimentary services. Ask your ADEC rep for details and start smart with ADEC. Join Doctors Savanah Craig and Ronnetta Sartor as we navigate life beyond graduation. Real conversations about forging our own paths in our early years in our careers. There's a reason it's called practicing dentistry. All right, so welcome back to a special episode of Beyond Graduation. We've got a guest with us today. So Ronnetta and Chris and I are gonna just chit chat. So Chris, welcome and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here and excited. I am a GP dentist up in Vancouver, Washington, which is right outside of Portland, Oregon. I have been practicing, it's hard to even say, I graduated in 2006. So I'm like getting close to 20 years in a blink of an eye. It's just crazy.
That's great. That's awesome.
It goes by so fast. I used to always be one of the youngest docs in the room. And now I'm like, oh, now I'm getting to one of the oldest. So yeah, I love what I do.
Very good. Well, you wear many hats.
I think this is why I've been so excited for this episode, is because I want to know all the things. You just seem like such an amazing and badass person. So I'm so excited.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. Dentistry is one of those really fun careers because you can take it in so many different directions. And there's a lot of seasons to life, and we can accommodate dentistry to that. For me, my seasons have been, I dove into dentistry headfirst, loved it, loved all the things about it. And then I realized what makes me excited to go see patients every day. So I kind of catered my practice to that. And then because I'm such a CE junkie, love to learn, I ended up getting involved on the speaking and teaching side. There wasn't a lot of women on the podium. And I had one of those kind of moments of, it's hard for me to ask other women to be up there if I wasn't willing to be up there. And so kind of dove into that head first. And then now I'm at my not tail end of career. Like I'm going to be practicing for a while, but I have to start thinking, okay, what's beyond dentistry?
Yeah.
And so that's led to some other adventures.
Very cool. What are the things in your practice that light you up that you have catered your practice towards?
Yeah. So when I got in, I wanted to do everything from endo to restorative to implants. And I realized I'm like one of the only ones that I don't love surgery. I did not love endo. I like the mechanics of it, but I am a really phobic patient myself. And so when patients are in a lot of pain or if they're really nervous, I kind of take on that energy. And it was really stressful for me. And so I love to stain and glaze and characterize. I love the impact I can make when I get to recreate someone's smile. Sometimes it's a full smile. Sometimes it's a single central. Sometimes it's just having that patient have a really good experience so that they're not terrified, like I tend to be in the patient's chair. And I like to build with my own hands. So for me, it's getting into that CAD/CAM digital world. I use a CEREC in my office for a lot of my restorative. And so when I get to physically paint the tooth and make it match, there's nothing like it for me.
Very cool. How soon did you pivot into those things? When you opened your own practice, did you do that as an associate? What was that journey like?
So I was an associate for a couple years, always knowing I wanted to build my own practice, but it turns out banks don't really want to lend you money straight out of school if you can't show that you can actually produce. And so I had a really unique opportunity where the doctor I worked for, he had 2 practices. So I got to go into his satellite office and he had all the technology in the world, especially at that time. Like he had a cone beam, he had a CEREC, and this is back in 2006, before it was really popular. He also placed implants as a GP back then, which was also really rare if you think about it. So I got to really see what it did for patients. And that's what really turned me on to it. So then 2 years into it, I opened my own practice. I built a building from scratch. So it took a hot minute to do that. I built my building. My building's like 14,000 square feet, but my practice is not the entire building. So I knew I was going to bring in other services. Like my idea was I'd have my GP practice and then I would bring in other specialists around me to help support that. But I started with 3 chairs and then grew. Today we have 10 chairs. I have 2 other partner doctors. They joined as They were associates prior, joined as partners about a year and a half ago. We all love doing different things in there. And so my pivot really started with my first associate as I was getting busy. My hygiene team was growing. And then I started speaking, being gone. It's hard to be a solo practitioner. And then if you're leaving, your whole practice has to shut down. Now, today, I can't imagine practicing by myself. I really love having other people there. Just it takes a lot of weight off. And sometimes we don't even see each other through the day, but you can have that one patient that you might not connect with as well, or you might have lost trust along the way. And then to have someone be able to step in and help with that is tremendous. So
Absolutely.
yeah, the pivot. I'm trying to remember what year. I think Dr. Lena's been with me 10 years. So 8 years in is when I think she stepped in. I had a couple other associates prior to that within that year.
Yeah.
But as we know, that's always a marriage too. So
Yes.
So are there specialists within your office or they're like within the building?
they're in the building. And so I have a periodontist, an orthodontist, and then a spa. The spa came about because my second year into my practice, I just loved this idea of I built a workout facility. So it was like a bar gym, but it had yoga, bar, Zumba, all the things. And then I built a little healthy cafe and spa inside there. And so it's like I didn't have to leave my building, right? Like I could
Hey.
be healthy and I could work out and be in my practice. And so I had that and ran it for a while until I realized like I was waking up at 5:30 to open the gym and I was leaving at 10:30. And I had all these fitness instructors I had to manage on top of my practice. And it was taking so much of my energy away from my practice. And I thought like it wasn't fun anymore. And I needed to focus on the actual profitable side of that. Like dental practices are much more profitable than fitness studios, it turns out. So I ended up selling that and a spa came in. So now I have a spa there, which is awesome. But yeah, the cafe, we were a little too healthy for our time. We had to put a Reuben on our schedule or on our menu just to get people to eat. Because I think today it would have been fantastic, but we were just at
You
the
were
time,
ahead of it.
Ahead of your
a
time.
little too ahead. Yeah.
So is it like a spa or is it like Botox?
No, it's a spa. And then we
Okay.
do Botox in our office. So we got into Botox fillers. Now we kind of cater that a little bit more towards dentistry as far as we really stick to Botox, a lot of TMJ work. I mean, sometimes if you get headaches up top, then it ends up kind of dispersing there as well. But fillers, as much as I love cosmetic dentistry, fillers is a lot of patient maintenance and managing expectations. And again, we tried it and then we pivoted because we thought, well, this isn't where we want to focus our time, is managing how to make your lips look bigger, which is really what the fillers were doing with some patients. So anyways, we've tried a lot.
Yeah, you got to try it. So
But
you're used to wearing many hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay busy.
Ronnetta, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was just
So many
yeah,
things.
so many hats. I was agreeing with what you were saying.
Very good. All right. So then how did you get into the teaching and all of that world? And I mean, we met at Implant Pathways. So doing hands-on stuff, doing speaking engagements. What was that journey like?
So I started, I think back around 2012 area. I was doing a lot with CEREC doctors. I was doing a lot with CAD/CAM because of CEREC. And I would fly down and do the courses. I got asked to be a mentor in there. And at first I had that same reaction of like, why would I want to be a mentor? Like, I don't want to be in front of all these people. I like to help. So the helping side was great, but being in front of the room, I was not comfortable at all. And one of the women who was helping facilitate everything called and she's like, I'm getting the same reaction from every woman. Like, I really need women to help. We have a good population of women coming in. They want help. And I was like, I'm not that person. Like, I grew up running heavy equipment. Like, I grew up in construction, way more comfortable in front of men than I am in front of women, because women can be a little scary and intimidating sometimes. And she's like, no, come on, please help me out. Everyone's saying no. So I said yes, helped out, and just put one foot in front of the other. I ended up taking some speaking classes. I got asked to speak. My first time was at DS World, which at that time was Sartor World, on this big stage. I was absolutely terrified, but it turns out I ended up breathing on the other end. I got through it, got feedback, and just, I don't know, just kept putting one foot in front of the other. As people were asking, it was hard to say no. And I don't want to say I liked putting myself in uncomfortable positions,
Yeah.
but you can really start to grow. And even my dentistry really started to grow because now all of a sudden where I'm taking pictures and it's from the education side and then realizing, okay, how can I explain this to other people with workflows? It helped a lot in my own private practice as well. So started that way. And as I met Justin, he had Implant Pathway, which is where we met. What I just absolutely fell in love with on that side is they do a lot of live patient education, meaning there's 32 ops. These patients come in from all over, really all over, but mostly the Phoenix area. That's a huge population there. And the patients get a lot of work done for free that they would not be able to afford otherwise. I mean, we know dentistry is so expensive, and it's anything from implants to implant restorations to, I mean, now crowns. We do a lot of restorative using technology to do that. And so it's just this win-win because doctors get to learn a new technology or a new technique. They get to do it in an environment that looks like their practice. Like they're all these beautiful ADEC operatories. You have a mentor that is literally over your shoulder. So if you mess up, there isn't much we can't do to fix it, which is great because that's always that fear. And then you get to go home on that Monday morning and relive it and hopefully do whatever you learned. So the patients win because they get free work. The doctors win because they get to mimic the environment that they're going to return to when they go to work. And then we have great industry partners who we love, who get materials out in front of docs in a hands-on environment. So just that whole balance and ecosystem, I just couldn't ask for more. So for me, it was such a give back and a way to do that because I love to travel and do mission trips. I've gone overseas also to do dentistry, but this is something so tangible that I can fly. For me, it's like a 2-hour flight and really make a huge impact for these patients. So
Absolutely.
yeah, never a dry eye. When for my courses personally, I do a lot of restorative. So I use CEREC and we do a lot of same day smile changes, smile design. And I mean, there's just never a dry eye. Everyone tries to gather around to see what those reveals look like as the patient's looking in the mirror and tears everywhere, including me. Like half the time I'm filming the reveals, I'm just bawling.
It's
And,
life-changing.
it is because patients are walking around with the hand in front of their mouth and they're so embarrassed and then they get to walk out with confidence. And it takes a little bit for them to feel that, but I get to do the post-ops on a lot of the patients and they're just so thankful, so thankful. So it reminds me why I want to be a dentist.
How
I
did you
think
get
that
from
maybe what keeps you going too.
How did you get from construction to dentistry? What was your path into this world?
It was so completely random. I truly thought I went into engineering for school, thought I would be doing construction my whole life. My parents owned a company that built bridges, so built bridges all across the country. And that's what I knew, focused on. When I was in, let's see, my sophomore year of college, the whole field of construction very much changed. And I was running heavy equipment and I was out in the middle of nowhere. My dad ended up stopping by my job site. I did not work for my dad. I was not allowed to. I got to work for some subcontractors. And he stopped by the job site and he's looking around and he's like, is this what you want your life to be like? Like you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, always the only woman out there. He's like, you love people. Like this is what it's going to look like if you want to go down this route. He's like, maybe think about other opportunities. So at the time in college, I was living with a hygienist and she was so passionate about dentistry, which I just thought was crazy because again, super phobic patient, terrified of all things, dentistry, medical, whatever. And I was literally physically writing a checklist because that's, what you do. Now today I would be like a Google Sheets. And she was looking over my shoulder, looking at my checklist. She's like, you would make such a good dentist. And I was like, that is the rudest thing anyone has ever said to me. Why would I make a good dentist? Because my experience of dentists were like these really old guys who were rough and gruff and mean. And like, I just clearly saw the wrong dentist growing up at Tender Care. I mean, there was nothing tender about it. So she encouraged me to come to her practice. And so I walked in, I put on my big girl pants. I was like, okay, I'll come see what you do. So I walked into her practice and the music was fun. There were 2 docs and it smelled good, which is such a weird thing to remember. But like, I just always remember dental office smelling so gross. And everyone was like laughing and having fun. And I was like, is this really where you go to work every day? Like I'd seen nothing like it. And I was talking to the docs and they were just great. And they were very giving, like, hey, we will help you in whatever you need as long as you will pay it forward later. And so, of course, I like sat in the back room, observed what they did, have no idea. Like, I didn't know what a filling was or a crown was or anything. As a patient, you just kind of sit there with your mouth open. But I loved the energy of it. And then we start talking and I realized, like, oh, and you only work 4 days a week? Like, this is awesome. Like, they were skiers.
Yeah.
So I knew I got to ski every Friday or be on the water every Friday. I'm like, sold. Still had no idea what a dentist did. But I just went through the process. Yeah, took my DAT. And I mean, really, it was probably my junior year of dental school where I was really like, oh, so this is what I'm going to be doing every day. Like, this is a crown and this is a bridge. But fell in love with working with my hands, being able to help the people. Like, I just attract phobic patients because I think that's what I put out in the world. So trying to help them transition, that is not as scary anymore. And that's where, again, I love the technology and those like creature comforts to really help patients know what they're getting, having that good communication, getting them in and out efficiently with my technology and trying to make it a little less scary. That's my crazy story.
That's a crazy way to end up in dentistry.
Yeah, all because of my roommate. And she's reached out to me now. It's so fun. Like I was going to school near Seattle at the time. So she's still up in the Pacific Northwest. And she's like, I just love watching your journey. And I'm like, I give you all the props. You're the reason I'm here today. So
it's interesting how you mentioned putting one foot in front of the other. It's almost like, it came to you along the way. All you had to do is just have a little bit of faith.
Yep.
So that's great. That's a great message to all of us out there. Just keep plugging.
Absolutely. And life is full of pivots. And I think, when I graduated dental school, in my mind, like, you graduate and you have a path and you're stuck in that path. Like, you open a practice or you join a practice and you're going to be there for the rest of your life. And I think, especially going through with Pathway and seeing all these younger docs coming through, life is so fluid and they're not afraid to move across the country and work somewhere here for a while and pivot much quicker than I thought was possible. And life still goes on and still happens. Like, if you have good friends, good colleagues, good network around you to support you in that, like, don't be afraid to just keep going forward. Like, you don't have to be stuck in life.
And dentistry is pretty cool that we get that opportunity to make it whatever we want, and that you could go open a practice or could go teach or could do all of these things. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So ADEC brought you to us today. Tell us about your journey with ADEC and how they've shaped your practice and all of those things.
So I live about 40 minutes north of ADEC. So I'm in ADEC country. So we've always been fully supported. Like, that's all I knew going to school. They are an amazing company in general. So we'll have a lot of events down there. And when you get to learn about the family and even the impact that they've made within their own community, it is wonderful. But then for me personally, having that engineering background, like being able to tour the facility, not only is everyone so happy in their own environment as they're creating and building, I just love that they will fully support the practice. So the quality is outstanding. They've always been really good about just supporting dentists in general. I mean, there was no other option when I built my practice. It was just, of course, it was ADEC because that's where we're here. And so started with 3 chairs and then built out. It was funny. There was a small time where because I love technology, I drifted away, and ADEC would happily tell you that when I built out a new section of my office, it wasn't ADEC, but came back to ADEC because the new technology wasn't everything that they said it was going to be. And my chairs were down more than they were up. And I didn't have that customer support, which was huge. So, and then I really appreciate, I've had opportunities to work with them even on when they are testing out new products. They'll come in because our office, we have a very, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to say a practical office, but I have a team that we work hard. We turn rooms fast. Like, we take insurances, we do all the things.
Yeah.
We have a lot of wear and tear on our products. So we get asked to beta test because if something's going to happen and if mistakes are going to be made, it's going to happen at our office. Like, things get dropped, things like, it's not like a little tiny one-op boutique practice where we move. So anyways, so we've had an opportunity to like beta test some things with them because it's very real.
Yeah. Real world.
It's very real in our office. Yeah. And I appreciate, like, they have this whole team focusing on ergonomics for women. Like, I have 20 women in my office, and that is a really big difference. And they'll sit, like, these engineers will come sit in our practice and in our ops and just watch us and watch how we move and like what are the things that we grab for and how do we set up, and each provider is a little bit different in their creature comforts, right? So
thank you for joining us for this episode of Beyond Graduation. If you enjoyed this week's episode, be sure to share it with a friend. Connect with us on social media at Savanah Craig DDS and at Dr._Sartor. And remember, you are not alone on this journey.
ADEC certified pre-owned equipment is a sustainable, affordable choice that makes genuine ADEC equipment available to every doctor. Each package is sold on a first-come, first-served basis. So, if you see one you like, contact your dealer. For more information, go to www.adec.com/find a dealer. Thank you for listening to Beyond Graduation, brought to you by Ignite DDS and Future Dentists. This episode was sponsored by Ignite DDS Coaching. We build self-determined futures. For more information, please reach out to the Ignite DDS team.